serve today, our God. Oh, our God, our God. Oh, our God, yeah. Ooh, yeah, our God. Everybody say now, yeah. So who opened up the Red Sea? Our God. Who made the blind to see? Our God. He created heaven and earth. Our God. He never left you from birth. Our God. Yes, who sent his son to die? You are our God. And who wiped away your soul from sin, you are our God, and who's coming back for you and me, are our God, yeah, yeah, yeah. You alone are holy, yeah. You are holy, yes, you are God. You are almost high, God. You are almost high. From hell, oh, hey, hey, made you holy and well. You are our God, who saved your soul from sin, oh, our God, and who's coming back for you and me. You are our God. One more question: who turned water into wine? Our God.
A very good afternoon and welcome to another exciting installment of Trendz. We're coming to you live from our Auckland Park studios in Johannesburg. I go by the name of Selepa Maifadi and we'll be giving you a wrap of the latest art and entertainment news in and around the continent. Follow and interact with us on @Trendz on SABC. Kagame set the tone for today's episode with that amazing performance from his second album, Uprising. The name of the song is called Our God. And as we all know, the Christian calendar is currently celebrating Lent, and we thought it would only be right to highlight some of the great gospel content that Mzansi has to offer. We have a lot of exciting content for you today. We will be sitting down with South African songstress Nandi Madida, who just came back from showcasing at the New York Fashion Week, and we'll also be hanging out with poets who will be performing alongside American wordsmiths that will be taking Zanzibar by storm next Friday at the Poets in Autumn tour. Without wasting more time, let's just jump straight into it. German visually impaired artist Say's Love Art exhibition titled The Gift of Water is currently showcasing at the Melrose Art Gallery north of Johannesburg. Seeking to create awareness of the current water crisis in the Western Cape, this exhibition also highlights the importance of preserving this precious commodity. Also showcasing on the sidelines of this exhibition is artworks created by children from the Lalela program based in Maboneng. Take a look.
Inspired by nature and the world around him, Say.Love captures most of his moments through his cell phone, modifying them into bigger portraits. Most of these artworks seem to depict images of animals or hands looking like objects, when in fact they are just water.
My exhibition is about water. I'm going to show the precious of water. Water has usually no forms, no color, it's liquid, but I just transformed it, and you can see that it has formed beautiful colors, and there's a lot of life in it. We all are made out of water, I think 90%. So, due to the water drought in Cape Town, and I heard there was also some here, we have to appreciate the water more, and we have to take water as a gift. It's given to all of us.
This showcase with a purpose is meant to raise funds for underprivileged communities with the aim of educating the youth on the scarcity, preservation and management of water. Lalela Charity Program is one organization that benefited from this program. The charity provides educational arts for at-risk youth to spark creative thinking and awaken the entrepreneurial spirit.
All of the proceeds that comes out of here goes straight into the account of Lalela, and those people who are actually donators, they get a wonderful piece of art, and the kids of Lalela, they get help. And the kids of Lalela, these are kids, you know, they live everywhere, they live in townships, they have really not such a good life. And Lalela is dealing with kids at risk, and after school they are just doing art courses, they just build up their inner strengths, you know. And art is the language of freedom, and as well as abstract, you know, and you get more self-confidence. And me personally, I think that education, that is actually what brings light into the tunnel, and we have to give this opportunity to the kids.
As a visually impaired artist, Say says he tries to create virtual reality for himself and how he sees the world around him through his lens. He also believes that visitors to the gallery will be moved by their experiences and take with them inspiration to support his vision to create a better society for all. The exhibition will be on at the gallery until the 4th of March.
South African singer, songwriter, musician, composer, arranger, and multi-instrumentalist, best known for winning the 8th season of singing competition Idol South Africa, Kagame has come a long way in the music scenes. We now know him for more than just his vocal abilities. Kaya's empire has grown from television shows, radio shows, and is now moving behind the pulpit as a senior pastor at the Oasis Church based in Durban. He has set a new benchmark with the choir at this church with their chart-topping single, Mkhulu Msebenzi, which translates as God's work is great. He's here to tell us about his latest projects. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much for coming. So tell us a bit about why you decided to do gospel. I mean, you're already in gospel, then you went to Idols to try a different sound, but now you're back into gospel again.
Yeah.
I mean, why did you even enter the competition?
Well, the reasoning for entering competition is, you know, you always want an audience. As an artist, it's important to have an established base that people can kind of say that, yo, we like that guy for X, Y, and Z. But and Idols having to be possibly one of the biggest platforms that we have in the country, if you kind of become successful on that platform, things will possibly open up for you, and it's going to be easier to maneuver in the industry. So that was the main basis of doing Idols. And why I did gospel, I think it's just a purpose thing, you know, to know that this is what I've been called for. This is who I am. You know, I did an R&B record. It was something that was in my heart, and it was just exploring new things, and it was a great experience for me as well.
So it has nothing to do with the fact that you're a pastor's kid and your parents are the founders of a church?
If my parents were not in church, I'd possibly still be singing gospel today, because I believe that it's not the church that connected me with God, but it's my own personal relationship with God that kind of builds who I am and kind of says that this is what you need to do in your life.
So we know that you love choirs. I mean, you enjoy a celebration, you've mentored a couple of choirs, you've been in competitions where you led choirs, and you've worked with Uprising and now with the choir from your church. Tell us a bit about your love with choirs.
Yo, my love for choirs, I mean, it stems, we grew up, all of us were singing choirs at some point, you know, and choirs are huge in this country. You know, they're huge because there's so much talent, you know. I don't just like being in front of the mic in terms of the spotlight being on me, but I love putting work together. I love producing. I love working behind the scenes and seeing a project come to light, you know. So I'm highly, highly passionate about seeing other kids and other guys I've been working with to say, yo, here's a platform, let's see what we can do, let's work together, let's do that. So I absolutely love working with them. Working with Oasis Worship, which is part of the worship team at church, is like, these are people that were leading worship in our church for the last 6 to 8 years, and now they've got a national platform with a single, Mkhulu Msebenzi, and it was kind of bringing together my life as someone from the industry, and of course my church life together, to say that this is what we can produce from both a commercial and a church point of view.
And I mean, you didn't even study music, but you're a multi-instrumentalist.
Yeah.
What do you play?
I went to the University of YouTube.
Okay. Okay.
So, I mean, I play various instruments. Obviously, my first instrument that I was taught by my old man was a guitar. I played drums in church ever since I was 14, and self-taught piano. Yeah, it's just being passionate about what I do, and then giving myself to my craft. To say that if I haven't been to school studying music, I spend more time, rehearsing stuff, checking other musicians. That's how I've developed myself as a musician.
And you actually studied project management.
Yeah.
So how are you using that? How are you tying it in with what you're doing currently?
I'm absolutely happy that I studied project management because it speaks to my business. And then I went up, and it just. A lot of artists kind of concentrate too much on the performance and songwriting and being celebrities, but there's a business behind this thing. You know what I mean? There's contracts, there's laws, there's business principles that need to be applied so that what we're doing is commercially viable.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So studying project management for me, I didn't understand it back then, but now I'm applying principles of business in what I'm doing in the industry.
Is that some of the stuff that you're tying it into your foundation that you have? Tell us a bit about that.
Well, the foundation side also is tied a lot to the church as well. And again, it's passion for growth. It's passion to see other people develop. I want to see myself a good 5 to 8 years from now not even being in front of the mic, where I'm literally producing, literally writing, and kind of giving these kids that I've been working with a platform where I'll be just sitting behind a desk, just watching them do whatever they need to do. And that's completely what the foundation is also about. It's about just producing an incredible work and giving other people a platform that God has given me.
And while you're chilling at the back, does that also include the pulpit? Because you also studied theology?
Yeah.
Or still studying theology?
I'm done studying theology. Okay. So, again, I've worked with my dad for so long, and he kind of mentored me into ministry, and I've always thought that I'm going to sing for the rest of my life. I just want to be a superstar. I want to sing till I'm 60. No, but it's opening up and progressing. That my life is more about ministry and preaching the word of God, and music plays a big part to that. Being in church and preaching the word of God. And so it's kind of just bringing those two worlds together and growing as a preacher and a pastor and a minister of the word of God. So
are you and the Oasis Church doing an album?
Yes, we're currently working on our album. So this Mkhulu Msebenzi is our first single, which is now available on all digital platforms. So we are promoting that single currently, and the album is going to come out around May.
And for a lot of people who don't know, you are married to the former Miss South Africa. You guys got hitched in December with Ntandeni Kosikunene. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
And how is that?
It's been amazing. We're growing in our marriage, and it's just, having fun. We're young, so it's just having fun, growing in our marriage, and kind of facing life together. We've got incredible dreams and incredible goals that we want to achieve, and it's just our partnership that's keeping us together. So
you definitely started off 2018 on a good note. Thank you so much for coming to Trendz.
It's been an honor. Thank you so much for having me. I want to thank all your viewers that are continuing to support our music. We really appreciate this wonderful platform.
Amazing. Now, that was Kayam Tetwa. Talking to us about Mkhulu Msebenzi, his works in the ministry, and a whole lot more that we should expect from him in 2018. Nadia Adams and myself are still at it. This whole thing with us in the gym, we're eating super clean. We've been on a 10-day Eliminate Detox program since the beginning of the year, and have just completed the second phase where we reintroduced 8 eliminated food groups, one at a time, monitoring it along the way, of course. But don't stress if you're not in the loop. Check out this next insert to see what we've been up to.
Hey Lisa! Hey, how's it? How are you? Good, man. Yes, good. So lovely to see you, ladies. Hi, how are you? Yes, so good. Thanks, ladies. Take your seats. It's been a couple of weeks since I last saw you both, and you're looking really good, just by the way. Your eyes are shining and your skin is glowing, and you're definitely looking like you're radiating. So clearly the Eliminate process has worked well for you both. But I know that you went first and foremost on the 10-day cleanse, Eliminate, and then you had to do the reintroductory phase, which is where you introduce all 8 of the different products back into your life 3 days at a time. So talk to me a little bit about that process and the highs and the lows, and what you couldn't wait to eat and what food foods actually didn't work for you and you realized, hang on, I think I might have a bit of an intolerance to this food, and what that was like for you?
The reintroduction, it was a lot more difficult having to introduce and take it out, and especially with the sugar, because you'd gotten over that slump in the 10 days and then bringing the sugar back in, and then it was like starting from scratch. That's how I felt.
What has been the biggest lessons? You know, you've done this now, it's been a month. You did your 10 days eliminate, you've reintroduced three days at a time, different foods. And so what have you got out of it? What has been your big sort of lesson from doing this whole process?
I think for me it had to be discipline, you know, like to tell your mind that you're not gonna do this and you're gonna stick to it. That's been something that I have had to challenge myself to, and it made me realize that I can do this if I just tell myself that this is not what I'm gonna do, because I've been very disciplined. I mean, even the veggie juices, I drink beetroot every single morning.
Wow.
Yes, I do.
And I wish all women would actually just throw out the scale, because it doesn't give us a good indication as to how your body composition has changed. I'm way more interested in how you feel, how you look, your measurements, and what your body composition is saying to me.
It's our first weigh-in since we started the program, and we're already seeing results. Katlego dropped a whopping 6 kilos, and myself, well, I've dropped 2, but we're super proud. If I had any doubts about Rally's unorthodox methods, they've completely been resolved. Now that we've weighed in, it's time to hit the kitchen for some nutritional insight and details on the cleanse.
So ladies, we wanted to educate the viewers a little bit more, because they're probably wondering what is the Eliminate. So it is a 10-day cleanse, a little longer than 10 days, but the full cleanse is 10 days, and then we reintroduce certain items after that, whereby we take 8 products or ingredients out of our diets for 10 days. And to give you an indication of what these different 8 things are, the first thing we eliminate is any kinds of sugar. So this is where it was really hard for you, hey Kath? All sugars, so your fizzy drinks, your chocolate milks, your sweeties, all went out your diet. Then any type of salt, so that goes for soya sauces, ready-made sauces, your table salt, your normal white salt that we're all very used to. Then wheat products, so that would go for, you know, biscuits, rolls, bread, pastas, bagels, all of that out your diet. Anything that was processed, so anything that comes not from a tree but from a factory. So if it came out of a tin, if it came out of a packet, if it came out of a box, it has been processed, okay, 99% of the time. So, you know, your cream crackers, chips, anything that's processed out. Dairy products, which is quite hard for a lot of people, so your cheeses, ice creams, yogurts, milks, out. Meat products, so that's eggs, fish, chicken, red meat, lamb, gone. And then caffeine, so that's not only your teas and coffees, not your herbal teas, your regular teas and coffees, also dark chocolate, and chocolate actually has a lot of caffeine in it. And then red wine and any other alcohol. This is actually the healthiest of all the alcohols right here. And we have to eliminate everything for 10 days. And then after the 10 days, we put one food back in the body for 3 days to see how your body reacted, to see if you were sensitive to it, if you were intolerant to it, if you got a headache, if you got tummy cramps, if it kept you up at night, if you just didn't feel great, you felt like lethargic because of the certain food group, so that you can determine what works for your body and what doesn't. Because a lot of people live their lives not feeling how feeling good feels. So if you are wanting to follow the Eliminate plan and get the recipes and the step-by-step guide, then go to lisarally.com, and under my store you'll see that I've got the entire plan and the kit that goes with it, and you can follow Kat and Nadia on their mission to lose weight and feel great in 2018.
Naphakathi ngiyabona, yebo ngiyakhona. Mkhulu umsebenzi owenzayo kule ndawo, yebo ngiyabona, yebo ngiyabona, oh yebo ngiyakholwa, yebo, oh mkhulu umsebenzi owenzayo.
Welcome back, you're watching Trendz. Trevor Noah's award-winning autobiography, Born a Crime, Stories from the South African Childhood, will be getting the big screen treatment and an Oscar-winning actress. Lupita Nyong'o, who was recently in the country to promote Black Panther, will star as Noah's mother in the film. The actress shared the news on Instagram alongside a picture of her and Noah. She wrote, "When I read Trevor Noah's Born a Crime, I could not put the book down. Excited to announce that I will be starring in the film and producing this adaptation." Rapper Nadia Nakai has said she is not offended that Izzy Dingo used her no-makeup snap as a skit in an episode. The 27-year-old rapper recently found herself a target for cyberbullies after the snap surfaced online. The photo was taken at a guest lodge where Nakai was spending some alone time with her bae on Valentine's Day. The picture went so viral that it was featured in an episode of local drama Izzy Dingo. Her close friend and label boss Casper Nyovest was not impressed. US singer Sade is releasing her first song in years. A Wrinkle in Time from director Ava DuVernay will feature the iconic singer on the film soundtrack. DuVernay revealed the exciting news along with some other artists included on the track, such as DJ Khaled, Demi Lovato and Sia. The film is set to release in South Africa next month.
Like, a lot has been happening. It's a lot of crazy stuff. On this week's tea, we're unpacking the Mabala Noise saga. We have Kay, who is a social media expert who's been keeping up with these files. The story has been all over social media, but if you don't know what's up, then here's a breakdown, okay? So in 2008, Governor Regine Kabinde and DJ Bongs founded a company that's originally known as Emabalabala, a company that became fully functional in 2016. The mission for this company was, or is, to sign and invest young South African acts, and oh, that they did. They signed on DJ Finzo, Du Bois, Major League DJs, Gigi Lamaine, Pro, Zakwe, El Vovo, Zola, Ricky Rick, and Nasty C. The company almost scooped everyone up. Even TV personalities such as Kanyimbao, KCBia, Latoya McKenna, and Balinkosi made that roster. Everything was good and great until Ricky Rick left the label after he accused the boss of Mabala for buying awards. Now, the second exit was by female rapper Gigi Lamaine, and she says the only reason she is parting ways with the label is because of creative differences. So, definitely no beef there. But Kay, this week, and last week, well, since the 14th, I think, of February, a lot has been happening and Mabala Noise has been trending all over. So let's start with the part that Reggie is actually leaving Mabala Noise and Mabala Noise is shutting down.
Usually that kind of news tends to make a bang on social media, but I feel like the news of him leaving flew relatively under the radar because a lot of people only paid attention to the fact that he was leaving when Nasty C announced that he was joining Universal Music. So where this started was back in January. Reggie quietly started separating himself from Mabala because, as many people don't remember, he's actually the Treasurer General of the ANC Youth League. So he's taking a break from running Mabala and handing over the running to the reins of other people, so that he can focus more on politics. And then shortly after he left, rumors started circulating that he's removing all his money from the company.
Disinvesting. I mean, I was like, what?
They made that sound very fancy, but just basically he was leaving. And a lot of people started to worry about what that's going to mean for the remaining artists on the label. And then Nasty C announced not even that he was leaving Mabala, he just said, I'm with Universal now. And everyone was like, wait, what happened? how does that affect Mabala? Did you leave? And then Mabala came forward to say he's still signed to Universal. And a few of my colleagues went to Universal to find out what's the tea. And Universal just said he cannot be signed to 2 labels, but that's a question you guys are going to have to pose to our lawyers. So for now, we are all still waiting for answers. But essentially, it looks like Nasty C's at Universal and Mabala is in trouble.
So, okay, we have tweets. Let's unpack this. Let's see what the Twitter streets have to say about this. Okay, the owner, founder of Mabala Noise, Regine Kabinde, has left. Co-owner DJ Bongs also left. Artists are leaving. Their office in 4 Ways is closed down. And their landline doesn't even exist. What does that mean? I mean, is that true?
It is true, because a lot of us had tried officially to get some word directly from them, but nobody from Mabala has been reachable except for Dumi, who's their new spokesperson. A few people have been able to reach him, but the rest of us haven't been able to get that far.
Yeah, and the next tweet says, this person says, I don't care much, honestly. Ricky Rick, Nasty C, Gigi Lemon left, and the others. I don't know what they're waiting for. So much has said about the record label, not good things. He should have focused on politics from the beginning. So what do you think about that? That this person is leading some political agenda and is also the head of Mabala Noise?
I feel like a few people can have varied interests. I mean, our police minister has shown that he is all about the entertainment, but he can also be about his job. So I don't really blame Reggie for trying to diversify his interests. It's just the way things were done that bring a lot of things into question.
So this one says, she saw it coming. She says, I think Mabala Noise just signed so many artists under them and are unable to be consistent. Give attention and help them in their growth. They need to just learn from Ambitious.
Yes, she's actually right about this, because what a lot of people don't know is that the artist behind that popular song Van Damme was signed to Mabala. And after that one song blew up, he left because he stated that he was not getting enough attention from the label bosses. So that's probably something that a lot of the people on the label, who a lot of us don't even know about, and I feel like that's the label's fault that we don't know about them, go to prove that they aren't getting the attention they should be.
Wow, okay, so we know that Nasty C also mentioned that he's happy that he's gone to Universal and that he's going to give Reggie a shout out when he wins this award.
I feel like that's just a bit of damage control on his part, because, you know, it's kind of sort of like the house is burning and people are paying attention now and watching for any signs of a problem. So for him to say maybe he does owe him a lot. We do not know what happened behind the scenes and what it is that they did for him, but the fact that he left should tell us a lot.
Okay, so you know that this week there was the announcement of the budget speech, you know, and the finance minister decided to quote Kendrick Lamar, and we were all just like, what's happening, you know? So wait, let's start off by checking out what he said.
And as urban poet Kendrick Lamar says, we're going to be right, we're going to be all right.
Well, obviously, took to the Twitter streets and decided to give Malusi Gigaba a run for his money and tell him what they actually thought of that. What did you think of it?
I cringed very hard because I was actually watching it live from work, and the fact that he called him an urban poet, it's not that far off and it's not a lie, but it was just something very entertaining to watch, and it's one of the most spoken about things as part of the budget speech. So I guess...
So you don't consider Kendrick to be a poet?
I consider him to be so much more. I just feel like saying an urban poet would just be like saying...
I think the hand gestures is what caught me off guard. I was like...
It's the hand gestures and the tone with which he did it. Even the man in the background of the video, you could see he was also just like...
huh? Yeah. So here's a tweet that says, Malusi Gigaba quoting Kendrick Lamar kills me every time. Like, clearly I'm not the only one that was canning.
It's not the only one. I mean, if you see the video tomorrow, you're still going to laugh at it because it's going to remain hilarious.
Next tweet says, okay, well, all right, if you didn't, okay, here we go. Kendrick Lamar, we're going to be all right. This song reminds me of the Minister of Finance, the minutes of Finance Minister Malusi Gigaba, maybe?
Yes, but maybe he did this intentionally. Now, every time you hear the song, maybe you're going to start to believe that despite what was said in the budget speech, we might just be all right.
You know, yeah, I think he has a point. I mean, let's check out the next tweet. We are going to be okay. This one says, the year of quoting artists by at my ANC. He says, first it was Cyril Ramaphosa with Hugh Masekela, and now it's Malusi Gigaba with Kendrick Lamar. Siyavelelwa. I mean, she's just like, what is really happening? In case you don't know the song, we have a clip of the song just so that you kind of catch up to where we are.
We gon' be all right. 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 Do you hear me? Do you feel me? We gon' be all right. We gon' be all right. Huh? We gon' be all right. We gon' be all right. Do you hear me? Do you feel me? We gon' be all right.
And when I wake up, I recognize you looking at me for the pay cut. Bahamas, I be looking at you from the face down. One Mac 11, even room with the bass down. Scheming, and let me tell you about my life. Painkillers only put me in a twilight.
Welcome back to Trendz. South African singer, songwriter, and actress, TV presenter Nandi Madida made her New York Fashion Week debut last Saturday, where she revealed her Autumn-Winter 2018 collection. Her fashion label, titled Color by Nandi Madida, is in collaboration with designer Josh Patron, which showcased a large array of color, patterns, and female power, of course. She joins me in studio to talk more about her label. Welcome.
Thank you so much. Thank you. It's great to be here. Your studio is awesome.
Thank you so much for coming.
Add, we had three also other designers who were absolutely incredible. It was Gense and Pilani, and then actually, of course, myself. So two other designers,
So how did that go down? So you literally just get a call with like a +3475555 extension, and you're like, who's calling me?
Can I tell It was, well, I wish it was like that, but it was an email, you know, because you get invited to showcase. I wish there's a way you could apply, actually, but no, you actually get an invitation, and it was such an honor. It was in December, I think it was the first week of December, I had received the email, and I was like, this is not real.
Yeah.
There's no way, but I mean, so honored, so humbled. And then also just realizing I only literally have 2 months to get my story together and to have a full collection. So it was really exciting to do such. And also just to find people to design with. I mean, me being head designer, but Josh, who was there, incredible. He used to, he graduated from Lysof rather. You have Gense also and Pilani, and they're from all over the country. So also to give, you know, these young people a platform to showcase their talents is incredible, especially as a creative director, because you can pick their brain and see where they're at. And obviously I gave them a brief, and how they interpreted that was absolutely amazing. So big up to them. I'm so proud, yeah.
So you're given freedom to decide who you want to add on to your collection when you come through.
Absolutely. I mean, for example, I'm going to be dropping a capsule collection now in March, end of March, and that'll be designed by me. But then sometimes I actually do want like the younger guys to get involved, just to give opportunity to people in the country. I always feel like it's needed. I mean, Josh was absolutely amazed. It was his first time in New York, and he couldn't believe it, meeting all these supermodels, going to all these shows, and it's an opportunity like that, which means the world to someone like him, and for me too, yeah.
How was that experience? What did people have to say about some of the items, the garments that they saw on the runway for you?
Oh, they loved it. I think more than anything because Africa has a great thing going on, but we try to be very modern, and bespoke suits is what we're trying to focus on, you know, to show what would Africa be like now, and we were all about the power suits. So it was also piggybacking on the Me Too campaign that's happening a lot in America, where we're talking about females being strong and powerful. I'm all for that feminist movement. And then at the same time, you know, it was important to let people know where we're going as a continent, which is always important, you know. So it was just exciting, and of course I was lucky because KZN Tourism also was so supportive. So I just feel blessed, yeah.
Talking about that, did you watch Black Panther?
Listen, honey, first of all, I have a toddler, but I'm all for it. So everyone's watched it, but we still need to have date nights with my husband, and I have to watch it. In fact, I was approached by someone they needed someone to interpret some of the scripts, and I gave it to one of my friends who's now been a part of Black Panther, which is incredible. So she lives in LA. So I feel like somehow I was a part of Black Panther, which is so exciting.
You definitely
big up
like
to them though. Yeah.
Yes, it's a beautiful movie, right?
Guys, it is everything. It's about time, and now I can't wait for the day that we have you know, a Black person who owns something like a Marvel and makes it happen. So now the next step is for us to have our own Black Panther too.
We know that you like new ventures. If there's always a next step for you. I mean, you've done the music scenes. You just keep doing. You just keep doing. Tell us a bit about 2018. What should we expect from you?
Ooh, 2018 is exciting. Definitely a new television show, which is great to be back in television again. And then also music. You know, I decided to put that on the back burner a bit just because there's so much going on. I always have a lot going on. And it's just great that I can get to express myself. So second half of the year, definitely that. It's going to be nice, guys.
Are you cooking up a couple of collaborations? Can you give us a hint on what to expect?
But you know what? I love what you said about Black Panther. We'll be touching on a theme very similar to that. So my whole direction is very similar to.
And obviously, I think are you going to be tying in the colors from color into that as well?
I like where you're going with it.
You know, hint, maybe you could just hire me to something.
But it'll be very exciting. I know it's going to be something different. I love pushing boundaries fashion-wise and music-wise, so we'll be incorporating the two. And then television too will just be an extension of me, so it's going to be a good year.
That's amazing. So in all that you do, Mama Gashaga, when do you sleep? I mean, really?
We just said, by the way, behind cameras, I don't sleep anymore. I wish I did. I genuinely don't. My son is exactly like me. He's a live wire. He loves life. He is hyper. So I don't sleep, and it's okay. I've just accepted. So yeah, I'm drowsy half the time, and I don't even drink coffee, so I don't know where I get my energy from, but I do somehow. But it's great, man. You know, you live one life, so, you know, there's no time to sleep, you know. You gotta live.
So from the Colors collection, because that's winter there, is that a range you're going to be putting out in SA since we're heading into that season?
Absolutely, fall winter, which it works perfectly actually in our case. There's also less pressure because you already have a collection available. So yeah, we'll be giving it to all the South Africans here.
So where can we take it? Where can we buy it?
It is online. In fact, what you can do is on our Instagram, it's @Color Fashion Label. We're launching the websites and everything online. We're relaunching rather, so it's going to be amazing. But there's a capsule collection that I'm excited about, which is high luxury, which we're introducing, because what we showcased in New York was just for the New Yorkers, but we're doing something specifically for the South Africans. Yeah.
Well, we definitely can't wait to see that. Thank you so much for coming to Trendz.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah, awesome. That was, of course, Nandi Madida speaking to us about her New York Fashion Week debut. She was there last week and did a collection that's called Colors and collaborated with a whole lot of great South African emerging artists. Now, how do your Saturdays look like? Well, apart from your regular hangout in front of the TV to catch us at 12, do you sometimes find yourself in a rock and a hard place because you're trying to catch up with your friends and burn off the calories? Well, you don't have to feel like you're missing out on anything because we have just what you need. Be on the lookout for a workout event in your area that's set to host 1,000 fitness fanatics offering a wide variety of exercises and activities for you to bond with your mates and get that blood pumping. So it's a win-win. I mean, take a look. Sweat is the order of the day. Gone are the days when working out was dull and boring. Fitness and wellness has now become a major trend in all parts of the world, and South Africa is catching up. And as the fitness community keeps growing, so does the activities around busting a sweat.
We're trying to just showcase snippets of the classes and exercises that we think are trends right now. So we'll start with yoga warm-up, something light, get everybody, you know, warmed up into it. Then we're going to do a little bit of Brazilian Booty Blast, which is exclusive to Planet Fitness. That's something that we've developed in-house. So that obviously targets glutes, core, so that one's going to be quite nice. And then after that, we're going to do a bit of Zumba. Obviously, a lot of people know Zumba, so we like to ditch the workout, join the party. That's what that's all about. They also have Strong by Zumba, which is quite new. It's a high-intensity workout, so that'll be really nice, get people a bit more into that. Yeah, I think Zumba is more than what people think it is. So that'll be cool. And then we're going to be doing piloxing, which is new as well for Planet. So that's a bit of Pilates and boxing together. That'll be really cool, something different. And then we're going to end off with a reveal of a new class that we're launching at the event.
In 2016, Brazilian booty blast classes that focus on sculpting your booty made their way to most gym studios. These lower body strength exercises are choreographed to upbeat Brazilian music, allowing you to dance while getting the most done on that behind.
With most women, their problem areas, they're always complaining about booty and about their waist. So the funny thing is, your booty is actually attached to the back of your legs and onto the back of your back, which wraps around to the front of your body. So Booty Blast is actually a full body workout, and we just try and add some arms just to get that working and to increase the heart rate.
And this is our first one, so we would love to do it annually, maybe go to the other cities.
You don't want to miss this fun day of sweating. The Brazilian Booty Blast and more exciting classes will be taking place at the Sweat Workout Party on the 3rd of March at the Nelson Mandela Square in Sandton. See you there.
Failed you unlike Ausmaki's daughter. I did not have 1,001 boyfriends, sleep around, drink, nor smoke, no tattoos. I tried to make sure that my dress code and conduct in public does not bring into question the manner in which you have raised me. In the eyes of many mothers, I am the daughter that could do no wrong, the kind of woman they wish their sons would wed and their very own daughters would grow up to become. But not in your eyes, dearest mother. Amnesia is no time traveler, mother. It has denied me access to sensory knowledge of skin-to-skin contact as a teenager and now a young woman. At times, I wish I could be frozen in time, to that time when I was a newborn baby, and my arrival filled you with unalloyed joy, and my presence with pride. Now my arrival into your house is a reminder of the headache you strained to stay away from during the day, and my presence, your pain. My mother's tongue is a tempestuous tsunami, whereas I've yearned for speech flooding with warmth. When was the last time I said good morning or good night with sincerity? For our early morning and late night conversations begin and end in war. I ought to be grateful that I do not go to school or sleep on an empty stomach. But I see no difference when my breakfast is this serial bitterness towards you and my supper. A constant dining with questions, questioning whether I've done enough in the day to please you. In fact, if I'm good enough. I've tried to scrub the floors a bit harder, mother. Wash, iron, and cook to perfection, the standard being you. Everything I have ever done, I've overdone, to make you proud, to make you smile, and just to hear well done. Nothing more, mother, just that. But no amount of top academic achievements, strengthening of weaknesses, sweat, blackened knees, reddened eyes, and hardened hands could sensitize your callous heart. My whole life's worth has lain on those very factors, my character weighted by chores. Even such calibrates cows for my hand in marriage. Am I enough for you, mother? I just wish you knew me now, mother. I wish you knew what my life's aspirations are, how the puzzle to my purpose is piecing together, how many little girls and boys I want to call you Koko, what my favorite food and nail polish colors are. I wish I was alive again in your house, my home. I tiptoe around you, trying not to stir up a storm. You see me, but you do not acknowledge my being, not even a wave. It hurts to return to a house where I'm looked at with other women's daughters in your eyes.
Wow. That was absolutely deep. It's a poem by Emma Mabie, who just is kind of giving us a tease of what we can expect at the Poets in Autumn tour. The art of spoken word dedicated to spreading gospel throughout the world. Poets in Autumn is back in South Africa for another riveting tour where timeless, heart-pounding and super inspiring mix of words will be performed by well-known American wordsmiths Preston Perry, Janet IKZ, Ezekiel Akonzu and Chris Webb. These poets are in tune with the current dynamics of youth and popular culture all over the world. We're now joined by the organizer, Harold Moyo, and two of South African artists that will also be delivering cutthroat issues through poetry at this tour. Welcome to Trendz.
Thank you.
Amazing. That was such a beautiful performance. Emma, tell us a bit about how you got into poetry.
For me, poetry was, it was almost like a last resort thing. Like, I've tried everything else and I was like really terrible at it. And then just by the end of matric, beginning of varsity, I had a friend who was just like, just start writing. And that's what I actually did. And throughout varsity, for me, poetry became my place of solace. I would just run there whenever I needed to. And just then from writing and just seeing other people perform, I was like, but you know, there's something that can be made out of this poetry. So I fell in love with it ever since.
And for you, Tiseto?
I think for me, it's a place of release. And it's a place where, look, I always have something to say. And I feel like I couldn't rap because, I mean, the beat is just telling me how to do things. And I don't like that. So I found a spoken word, which is slam poetry, where you can just get there, say what you want to say, how you want to say it, when you want to say it, just like that. Like that. That is what I like.
And you have a couple of accolades in that slam poetry division. I mean, tell us a bit about that. Flex on us.
Well, I am a resident Fresh Impressions poet. I've done Poets in Autumn last year. That was great. It was amazing. We've also done, I mean, we've hosted a few American artists as well, the likes of Propaganda, the likes of just a lot of people. So it just becomes amazing to see yourself on that international stage, knowing that you're a boy from Ekasi who just wanted to write stuff. I was also part of the Wits Poets Corner, and that's where I learned how to write. And yeah, I was discovered by Harold over there, and yeah.
So Harold, tell us a bit about Poets in Autumn. I mean, this is something that it doesn't only happen here in South Africa, right? So tell us about a bit about how Fresh Impressions got to grab it and bring it to South Africa.
All right, cool. So one of the organizers of Poets in Autumn, Ezekiel Azonyu from the United States, reached out to us about 5 years ago to say we want to be doing some shows in South Africa and in the rest of Africa. And I think since then, we've actually hosted them 4 times, and we've gone to about 7 African countries with them. So what we basically do is that we try and bridge the gap between Africa and the US, you know, just to show the side and bring artists this side also.
But let's talk about the relevance in content, because it says that these poets are cutthroat and they know what is topical when it comes to the youth and culture. So does that also resonate with what South African content is usually about? Does it relate?
Okay, I feel like we are a global community. The only difference is that we are not shooting each other here. You know, but we're a global community. What's happening is that internet has actually brought the world a bit smaller. So what's happening in the States and what's happening in South Africa can also be of relevance. But then the reason why we come in and bring in a whole lot of our local acts is so that they can also have a voice, because I feel like also Africans, we also have something to say. In as much as we get excited with the Americans coming into our country and into our continent to come and deliver some stuff, I feel, you know, guys from Ekasi, you know, and whether you're Zimbabwean or wherever you're from, you also have something to say, you know. So the two, when they come and they merge on stage, it just becomes amazing. Like, stories are told and stuff is actually tackled.
And they tackled through gospel, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so give us a breakdown of how it was last year and what we should expect from you this year.
Okay, so last year, PIA was mostly centered around the word and what the world needs. So we try to marry the two, because, I mean, the world is broken. Look at what it looks like. And we, as the Bible puts it, we are supposed to be the salt of the earth. We're supposed to be here to make a difference. We're supposed to be here to be the change. You know what I mean? And that's what Poets in Autumn was last year. Everybody left there with their minds renewed, with their hearts changed, and that's what it's going to be this side, just on 10 different and on 10 larger levels, and yeah.
So we definitely can't wait for that. Tiseto is going to be closing off the show for us a little later. Thank you so much, guys, for coming. So the 2nd of March, Poets in Autumn at
Rema
Bible Church.
7 p.m. Yes.
7 p.m.
Tickets are still available.
So Friday turn up, we'll all be at the Poets in Autumn.
Yeah, it's actually it's an amazing space to be. And last year we had about 3,000 people coming out for poetry. It's never happened anywhere else in the world. You know, so that was like amazing. We're hoping this time around we match the numbers too.
The lineup says it all too, I think.
Well, we can't wait to see all of that. Thank you guys so much for coming to Trendz.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, now Kagiso Lediga has done a couple of things. He's cemented in the South African comedy industry in the past few years, and he's doing some amazing stand-up, but also gracing some big and small screens. Known for his satirical acting roles and the effortless acting style, he's now taken it up a notch, and not only in front of the camera, but behind it as well. Let's take a look.
We first saw him in 2003 on the popular Pure Minati show, where he enticed viewers with his hilarious comedic style, launching a career that has spanned over 15 years to date.
Manual. You know I can only drive automatic, man. Manual is a big problem.
He still brings smiles and laughter to those who surround him. Being one of the very first black comedians in South Africa at a time when black people were not allowed to speak openly, he drew a path for many who would follow, with the country's political situation being the fuel that charged many of his jokes.
I guess because that was the thing to talk about, because we had just kind of come out of the political situation was weird. You just couldn't, it was the first time speaking. So what am I going to talk about? The elephant in the room was that, white people, and you were performing for white people all the time. So I can't just come up there and pretend that everything was fine, So that was, it was political in the way that we were kind of poking the audience in the eye and saying, yo, man, what do you think was happening here? So that was, that was fun. That was cool.
Since then, he went on to do a number of shows and films, including Bantu Hour with the late jazz legend Hugh Masekela, and the satirical film Wonder Boy, based on the current political state in South Africa.
Be careful. Politics is absolutely dedicated.
We wish him long suffering. We wish him long pain.
And most recently, his biggest achievement, his directorial debut, Catching Feelings, starring the man himself and Tol Tusi in an almost love story set in the city of gold.
I kind of wanted to write something that had that resonated with people in a kind of more basic way, but also primarily I wanted to tell the story of Joburg and the kind of political and social kind of state of South Africa, and then but then using this kind of story, this, I guess, love story, this romance that is, I guess a little bit of a tragic romance that we follow, because like a lot of the times, and it's still a cute love story in a way, because we've seen a lot of rom-coms in South Africa, and people like those types of things. I don't particularly like the kind of schmarminess of those things, but then I thought it's a cool way to tell a broader story, about a place. And I'm a big fan of Woody Allen, minus the sex scandals and stuff. So it was like a cool chance to do like a Woody Allen-esque kind of talkie, in Joburg. Actually, it's one of those where you watch it, sometimes you make a thing and then you cringe at moments because it doesn't really come together. This one, it was a lot of work just kind of to make it, and then in post-production, we kind of were lucky, I guess, to have enough time to really craft it, and it's really cool. It's I watched it for the first time with the audience in Los Angeles, and that's when I was the most nervous, because but then I was hoping that at least they'll just see it as an interesting look into another culture, and then they laughed at all of the bits. That was the first time I kind of saw it as, oh well, actually the gags aren't, it's accessible. It's got proper, it is a popping kind of comedy. Hello, my name is Kagiso. You're watching Trendz. I'm the director of the film Catching Feelings, which comes out nationwide on the 9th of March. 9th of March, that's the one that's between 8 and 10. But when I'm 9 is the inverted 6. That one, don't forget. It's a Friday. Go to the cinema. Tell your friends. It's a great one to watch with friends. Yeah.
Well, that was Kagiso Lediga talking about his film Catching Feelings that's dropping sometime next week on the 9th or the 6th. Now I'm confused because he did the whole number thing. But don't catch feelings because it's over. The show is over. It's been an hour. And we'll see you same time, same place next week. We're playing out with a beautiful performance by Tisetso, of course, who is telling us a bit more and giving us more glimpse of what we can expect at the Poets in Autumn. So from me and the Trendz team, bye.
Sin came before salvation so that I can have a past to walk away from. Because no one really appreciates the after before they see the before. When my before, I was like broken pieces of shattered glass. You don't understand. I was like broken pieces of shattered glass. What that means is that I was broken pieces of broken things. The flesh was not fresh. Andrew and Katrina were not hurricane enough to match the catastrophe that sin had made of my body. I was sick in sin, and Christians couldn't give me the word of God, the medicine. So whenever my sin flu made me sneeze, like, all they ever said was, bless me. But you see, Christ looked at me and saw somebody who's worthy of his life. And now because it's Christ that died, my soul survives and my heart's alive because Calvary revives. You see, it was brokenness you had never seen. Even Thomas was better than me because after seeing, I still didn't believe. My thoughts did more damage than Saul with a sword double-edged. My words did more damage than Judas with 50 pieces of silver. My intentions were like missiles heading for a daycare center filled with innocent children. My words were like dynamite with a burning string at an old age home. No one could really run from me. But you see, Christ looked at me and saw somebody that's worthy of his own life. And now because it's Christ that died, my soul survives and my heart's alive. Because Calvary revives. Do you understand the ambiance associated with that sacrifice? A God died. Not some silly gangster with a pocket knife. A God died. Not some fake man-made miracle manufacturing Messiah wannabe guy with a can of doom. A God died, and I was revived. Celebrate with me.